What's up everyone, welcome back to Pen and Journal, and today we are taking apart a Pelikan M800. We're going to do a full disassembly of the piston. Let's get straight into it. Right, so over here I have the Pelikan M800 Blue Dunes. This is a special edition, right? Beautiful translucent resin with the chatoyant and shimmers with the black swirls. This is a beauty of the pen, so let's take a moment just to admire this gorgeous beauty. And over here I have my loop with the LED lights, and you can see when I pass through this, when I shine this light through that blue translucent resin, it just, oh man, this is just so beautiful. And I just need to pause for a moment, get off track of the topic, just to admire this beauty over here, right? So anyway, back to the disassembly. So you can actually disassemble a M1000 or a M800, if you will, a Pelikan model exactly the same way, because of the metal or the brass piston that is similar for these models, right? So a very good way to see whether the model is compatible in terms of the method of disassembly that I'm going to show to you is that you firstly, right, you need to unscrew, turn the blind cap at the end, right, in the anti-clockwise manner, right? This is normally how you push the piston forward. So over here you can see here that the section that is a flat area, or rather there are two flat areas where you can pass a wrench, like a twisty wrench, right, into the gap over here like so, right? So if you look at the early models, not the early models but the models M600, M400, we do not have the same kind of piston assembly. So for those models you can't apply the same method to disassemble. And once again, if you do disassemble, I'm not liable for any damages, any void of warranty. So upfront, this is my precaution to you, right? Do it at your own risk. I'm just showing you what I do with my own M805 to disassemble the piston assembly, to do a thorough cleaning, right? You do not need to actually disassemble the whole thing here, right, to do a cleaning. But for me myself, once in a while, in a long time, it is good to disassemble the whole thing to do a thorough cleaning, right? So let's get straight into it. So if you have the pen, first thing of course is to unscrew the cap, right? And for the nib unit for Pelikans, very easy. You can use some rubber grip. In my case, I'm a bit lazy, I just use my hand, and just need to turn this in the anti-clockwise manner to unscrew the whole nib unit, right? It's that simple. And of course you can see that I've actually cleaned up this whole pen, so no ink inside whatsoever. It is very easy. Next thing is we're going to target the piston assembly at the back. So what I do is turning the knob all the way, right, anti-clockwise again. I prefer a twisty plastic wrench. You have a metal wrench, but I prefer plastic so that it will not cause any kind of damage or dents to the metal part here. So moving in the wrench like this onto the straight edge, the two straight edge of the section over here, right? What you can do is you can tighten the knob a little bit, right, just to get a bit of grip on the wrench itself. So in terms of removing this assembly, right, typically we will turn this in an anti-clockwise manner to open up, but in this case you need to turn clockwise, right? Clockwise is very important. Make sure you turn clockwise to remove the assembly, right? You can see this is clockwise to remove the assembly. So some people may get this wrong. They may actually tighten the assembly if they turn it anti-clockwise, and that may actually crack the barrel. So remember, in this case you need to turn clockwise to remove the assembly, right? If you're doing it for the first time, it may be a little bit hard to turn, but I've disassembled this before, so it is easy for me, right? So all you do is turning clockwise all the way until I feel that the whole thing has come out easily, right? Release the wrench, and of course what you can do is once this is fully out, what you can do is you can just pull this out gently and the whole thing will come out like that, right? So you can see here it's a clear true barrel. You can use a Q-tip, you can flush this with water to do a thorough cleaning, right? This is how you do a proper thorough cleaning once in a long haul for your Pelikans, right? And so this is the assembly itself. What you can do is you can just simply remove the entire thing. You have your piston rod with the piston seal at the end, right? This is the whole brass or metal assembly. This is what it gives the Pelikan M800s and 1000 the weight, and you have a plastic piece like this. So you're pretty much done. So after cleaning your pan, right, flushing through the barrel, the nips and all that stuff, cleaning the piston seal over here, let it dry, and once you're ready to assemble, it's basically very simple, doing everything in the exact reverse manner. So what you want to do is put on some silicone grease onto the piston seal over here, right? Just a gentle light coat, right? Not a heavy coat. A gentle light coat will do 2 dots of a twisty silicone grease like this, right? And then what you need to do is just using your fingers spread it around the rubber area over here, right? Do not over apply. A bit of grease will go a long way. So how do you actually assemble this back is, right, putting in the cap, you can screw in and you will see that you may not able to get this right the first time. So what do I mean by that? I can give you an example here. So let's say I have let's see this assembly like this. Let's say I'm screwing this knot in, right, and I'm not too sure how long the length of this rod should be. When I fully tighten, you can see that some space. This is pretty good, but your goal here is very simple, is to get as much, or rather you're going to want to get at the least amount of space over here when you have fully tightened the knot. So this will ensure that you have a full volume of ink for your barrel, right? You do not want something like this. Okay, if you can show you, right, example, right, you do not want something like this. You can fast forward from this if you want to, right? You can see here there's more gap here, right? You can see over here this is too much. So what you want is you want to have the least amount of gap over here to maximize the volume of ink that you can put into your Pelikan. But then of course you do not want a situation where you have something like this, right? You can see here I got the least amount of gap, but over here if you look carefully there is a gap between end of the cap here and the actual metal what you call the metal piece here where it's flush. So when you screw the entire assembly in, you have this gap which is very unsightly. You do not want that as well. So what you need to do is you need to get a good balance of it. So this is how I actually do it, right? First thing first is that I will screw in the cap to a certain area that I feel, to a certain extent I feel that is the correct length. I will screw it in. So you can see here there is a lot of gap. So what I do is I will release it, putting pressure on the tip over here, gentle pressure. When I turn it in an anti-clockwise manner, right to the end, you can see there's a skip. I can do a few times, 2 times, 3 times perhaps, and then I'll screw it in again. Still got a gap. What I can do is gently again putting pressure on the tip. I will turn it all the way anti-clockwise until there's a skip in the thread. You can see there's a skip, and then I will turn it back in one more time. All right, still not there, it's okay. Patient again, maybe 2 times, 1 and 2. turn it all the way down, and there you go. Right, so now we have a very minimal amount of gap, and this is completely flush, and this is something that I want to attain. So now turning it all the way up again, right, getting in the wrench to assemble the pen. Right, so again, once your wrench is in, tighten the knot down a little bit, and then getting the pen gently just push it in. And remember to tighten instead of clockwise, I'm going anti-clockwise to tighten. So to tighten the assembly, I'll go anti-clockwise. And again, do not over tighten, you may crack the barrel. The key thing here is be gentle, right? A lot of us want to over tighten things, but once you feel a bit of a torque, right, just very gently just give it a bit of nudge, and that's it, right? Do not over apply the pressure. And then there you have it. So the beauty of the old Pelikans is that you can actually see through the barrel, right? So what you can do is you can get an LED light or a torch light, right, to see through. And I'm not too sure if you can see, right? I'm pretty satisfied with how the gap is between the seal and the assembly itself. So there's quite a lot of ink, and to make sure that this can fully extend, when I turn it all the way using your torch light or your LED light, you can see the piston seal actually managed to reach the end over here. So we have correctly assembled the pen in terms of the assembly, right? So again, once you're done, make sure the hands are a bit clean from all the grease. You can put in the nib, and the nib is very simple. Just gently turn it clockwise. Again, do not over tighten, right? Do not over tighten. Once you feel there's a bit of a torque, just a bit of a nudge, a bit of pressure, and then you are done with the assembly of the pen. So cap in, all done. Again, this can be quite a lengthy video, but I hope you guys are able to get something out of this video. Again, this is for the M800s and the 1000 models. Please do take care, do not over tighten, do not apply excessive force when you are tightening the parts, right? These pens are not cheap. So thank you so much for watching and supporting. If you do like this video, please do subscribe. Please drop in a like, drop in some comments what kind of videos that you guys want to watch, want to see. Thank you all once again for your support. God bless, and I see you guys in the next one.